So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can add authentication and a database using Supabase to your Next.js app. In a previous video, we created an AI website summarizer using Next.js and Codex. And in this video, we're going to take one step further to monetizing our app and actually add a database and authentication, because before we charge users, we need to know who they are so that they can log in from anywhere and access their account. So let's dive in. So this is what our app looked like from the end of the last video. And now what we want to do is we want to, again, create a database and give users a way to log in, log out, sign up, and all of that. So what I'll do first is I'll go ahead and get Codex working on the UI and wiring everything up. And then I'll show you, but while it's doing that, we can go create the database. So I'm just going to say something like, okay, let's add authentication to our application. We need a way for the users to sign up, log in, and log out. For UI, add a I'll call it a nav bar. To do this just means the bar at the top. And what I expect it to do is to add a sign up, login button, and all of that. And we can adjust the design afterwards. Uh, Add a nav bar to do this. We will be using Supabase for authentication and database. I'll get AI to tell me what EVs. So EVs is short for environmental variables. The EVs you need from Supabase, and I can put them in a .en or a env.local file for you. And then, so what else do we need to think about to tell it? So we will also want to figure out how we want to authenticate users. So there are a few different options. A lot of times you can just do an email link, which is becoming more popular now. I think for this one, we'll just do an email and password. For authentication, let's just do email and password. No email confirmation necessary. So that just means we don't, well, let me do verification. That just means in this case, we won't verify emails. I actually highly recommend you do that for your application. Um, for right now, I just don't think it's that's easy to add, and to show you that, I'd have to show you my emails. So we'll just skip that part. And then I think that's really going to be it for the most part. So we'll adjust if we forgot anything. So while that's doing, AI is working on that. I'm going to go create the database and and enable all the authentication settings that we need. So let's go over to supabase.com. Not this one. My computer's lagging because the AI is running. Okay, so if you haven't created an account on Supabase, do that. I have an account, so I'm going to go to my dashboard. I'm going to click on one of my organizations. Since I have one free project, I believe I can still add. So I'm going to click New Project, and then I'm going to name this AI Website Summarizer. I'll give it a password. Highly recommend you giving it an actual strong, unique password. And then we'll enable the data API. We'll also enable automatic RLS. That's something else I'll go over possibly in this video. I don't think we're actually going to be adding anything to the database yet, but whenever we do, I'll explain that. RLS is row level security, super important, especially when you're coding apps with AI and stuff like that. You definitely want to make sure to keep your database secure. Make sure that your users can only access stuff that they are supposed to be able to access. I'll touch on this a little bit more, but very, very important right there to know and understand that and to test it as well. So I'll click create new project. And I think it actually takes a while for Supabase to spin it all up. So we'll see how much we can do without that. What when all this is set up, what AI is going to need from me, it's going to pretty much do everything other than put the environmental variables in. So we can go ahead and start on that. I'll open up a new terminal so I can open up VS Code for this project. And we already have the .env.local file that we created in the other video. I shouldn't be showing you this. I just showed you my open API key. I'll delete that after this video. But so yeah, the other keys we need, and I was gonna let AI name them, but I'll go ahead and like half name them. We can change the name later. Um, but it will should need the client key and a server key as well. Let's see. So I'm gonna go into here. So I can't even click on API keys. So what I'll do, since we're kind of just waiting for the database to be created and waiting for AI to do its thing, I'll go ahead and pause the video and I'll come back once one of them is done and we'll show you the next step. Okay, that did not take long at all. So both of them finished. So AI said, cool, auth is wired in. I haven't even looked or tested it yet, but it did give me the EVs, the environmental variables I need. So let's copy what it gave me. I'm going to go paste that in my env.local, and then I'm going to actually replace it with the values that we need. So the URL is, where did I get that? So I think if I go back to the project homepage, yeah. So I can copy the URL from right here, and we'll put that in here, and then it's asking for my publishable key. I'll try to touch more on what these keys are and the different ways to use Supabase. But basically, a publishable key is a key that it's public. You can put it on your front end. It's okay if people know it. It's not a big deal. Now, what I do want to mention, it's important to understand, is that the reason why this is public is because it's assumed that you have RLS, those row level securities. So what that means is that anything in your database, only if you have RLS and it's structured correctly, this key can be public because a user will only be able to uh, see data in the database that you specify slash that is relative to them. I'll try to touch more on that later, but again, super important. You want to have your RLS secure so that another user cannot look at data from another user in the database. But now that we have that, let's actually go test it out and look at it, see what happens. So gave me an alert. I don't really like that it did that because I never need this alert after this, but it's helpful right now because it's not recognizing it. Why is it not recognizing it? Add them to .env.local. It tells me to restart the dev server. I don't think you need to do that, but let's give it the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, weird. What did I miss? Let's see. Everything looks fine to me. So we'll just ask AI. Again, this video, I'm trying to use Codex as much as possible. Normally, I would kind of dig into the code and try to debug it, but let's ask AI. So I'll just say, Hey, I'm seeing this alert, but I added my EVs and restarted the dev server. And we'll see what it says. While it's thinking and getting back to me, let me go look at the UI. So the UI for right now looks fine. I'll remove this, but having that's exactly what I wanted and what I expected was to have two buttons at the far right, log in and sign up. So awesome job, AI, on that one. All right, let's see what it said. It came up with a plan. Weird. I thought this was really simple. If the values are present, the likely issue is how the client reads process.env rather than the Supabase config itself. Why did he come up with a plan for this? Fix Supabase environment. Oh man. Sure, implement this plan. This seems like super overkill, but we'll let it do its thing. Very interesting. So, while it's doing that, I guess what I can do is I can kind of go over how the different ways to use Supabase, how AI decided to use it now, and probably some issues we're going to run into. Not issues, but um, what we're going to run into in the future. So there, after I say that, it looks like it already fixed it. Okay, so I think we're good now. So I'll save that conversation for in a little bit. Um, Really quickly, super minor. I want the AI to be, I want the UI to be clean. Actually, I don't even need to. Let me just say, let me clean it up real quick. Remove the tech text from the nav bar. Also, remove that, whatever you call it, alert in the summarize any web page section. So it will remove that. There's no reason to have this alert here. I don't know why it added that. So let's try to log in and sign up. So let's do sign up first. Created a shared dialog. That's okay with me. Not really, actually. I'll fix that later. Typically, what I would want is this exact dialog. I don't need this text. Remove the from the dialog. And actually, I'll go ahead and fix that. And instead of having two tabs for login and sign up, put a small centered button under the CTA to switch between the two. I would typically give it more details, but it's a super common pattern. It knows exactly what I'm talking about. I just want a button right here that says something like already have an account, log in, or don't have an account yet, sign up. Super common pattern. We'll see how close it gets, and then I'll adjust. Um, and then this always happens with movie labels. I don't know why. Label is getting cut off. Add more margin. Adding uh, above first input. All right, so we'll fix that. Let's see if I can sign up before it fixes it. And yes, you can see it already added exactly what I was talking about. I didn't even tell it to say, hey, I already have an account. It's just a super common pattern, so it kind of knew. So yeah, let's see if I can sign up. Let's do AndreaPoints.io, and we'll just do like password 123 and create an account. See what happens. Boom. So I guess it looked like it worked. So again, let's go ahead and adjust the UI real quick. So after signing up, Just close the dialog. No need to keep open and show that success alert. And then what didn't happen is nothing changed right here. And that's what I want. And I didn't tell AI to change that, but that's really what I want my indicator of that I'm logged in. So I'll say, rather, once a user is logged in, the nav bar should change by showing, we'll say it I'm going to call it a user avatar. Um, that when clicked shows a menu where I can log out and change my password. What else would I need? I think that's going to be it for now. Well, and change my password and update my email if needed. We'll just see how far I can get with that. But basically, with authentication, when you have emails and passwords, you're going to want to give them all of that, give the users all of that ability. They'll need to change their password, they'll need to possibly update their email, and they'll obviously need to log out. So um, let's see what it does there, and then we will test that. Let's see if it can get done quickly so I don't have to pause the video. Also, I guess um, where is it? Yeah, maybe I can go back to that conversation with Supabase. So basically, with Supabase, you can use it on the client, which means the front end, like in your web app, which is public, or you can use it on your server. So for some things, when we get to implementing Stripe, we're going to need to use it on the server. But for right now, I always recommend it. Until you need to use it on the server, it's super easy to use on the client. Again, you got to have the RLS secure. And as I mentioned it so many times, I'll probably just do a separate video on that to go over that. And when I do, I'll put the link in the video description. Um, but since we're using Next.js, I just kind of want to mention that because it's important to know, and it can get kind of messy because right now in our EVs, we don't really have anything too secure other than this one, other than our open API key. Like this is fine to be public, and in fact, that's why we added next underscore public underscore. What that does is when we deploy this to Versal, it tells any EV that doesn't have that's not prefaced by next underscore public, it it cannot be used on the client. So awesome security precaution by Versal, super huge. So all it means is that when we come in later and add a Supabase server key, we are not going to preface it with next underscore public. And that's just going to give us one level of security to where we make sure those keys don't leak out onto the client. And so I just want to mention that because that's super huge. Usually, if you're not using Next.js, you have separate front end and back ends, so it's not too big of a deal. But with Next.js, it kind of combines the two, and we're gonna have to put an API key in here for Supabase that is going to be um, secret, that we cannot have it leaked, or else people will be able to access anything in our database. Okay, looks like it's done. Um, so yeah, it says it's done. I refreshed and I'm not seeing any difference. So what that means is one of two things. One, it didn't actually fix it, or two, it just did it for when I signed up and it's not actually checking to see if I'm logged in um, already, which it definitely needs to do. Um, so let's try to figure out which one it is. Let's try signing it up again. Man, it didn't fix that label either. Uh, Let me give it a better screenshot. Email label is still getting cut off. That'll be a quick fix. So let's do Andrew at points.io. And this will help narrow it down to what the issue is, because since it said it was I would create an account earlier, it shouldn't let me create another account. And it did. So that means it probably just didn't work earlier. We can also, I'll get AI to look into it, and then I'll show you another way to debug with Supabase. Um, I signed up. Oh, my light went off. No worries, we'll do this in the dark. I signed up and it didn't seem to work. I got a success message originally, but no indication that I'm actually logged in. So we'll see what it can find out before I start digging through the code, but I can just verify to see if my user actually got created by going into Supabase. We'll go into authentication and user. So it did create. Um, so while it's thinking, for context, it looks like the user did get created in Supabase off, and then I'll click the steer because I wanted to know that now while it's thinking. Um, so it looks like the issue is, I guess there's two issues. One, it's not showing that I'm logged in, and then two, um, it let me create another user with that same email. Uh, so there's some issue there. I don't. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised it didn't give me any errors. So also, I'm not seeing anything in here as well. So, all right, looks like it changed to something, but the client never got logged in. I updated. Okay, so it said it changed something. It fixed the label, so that's good. Shoot, password 123, create an account. Email rate limit exceeded. God, what is that about? So let's try that with another email. All right, email rate limit exceeded. That's going to be definitely coming from Supabase. Let me look into that, and I'll also ask AI. Getting a why? Actually never seen that on Supabase. Um, Set up custom SMTP. We shouldn't even be sending emails. I don't know why we're getting rate limited. Most likely because your Supabase is still trying to send confirmation emails on sign up. So 2 emails per hour, blah blah blah. So yeah, I guess the issue is why are we sending emails, and that's something I just didn't think to configure. So go to authentication providers emails, authentication providers. Don't see that. I see notifications. Let's see policies. No sign in. Oh, slash providers and confirm email. That's what I did. Boom. So that probably answers all of the issues we were having. It was probably sending me an email, waiting for me to confirm. Um, so let me actually, did we add any email verification endpoints slash logic or anything? I don't want that. Just want to make sure that. All right. Let's try again. Okay, we didn't get the error, so that's promising. Oh, and we're logged in. Boom. So kind so all that's great. Still kind of weird that it let me create an account, but that might have just been because the other one wasn't verified. So let's actually test that out again. I'm gonna log out, and that looks like it's working great. And then I'm going to let's try signing up, and what I expect is an error. I think I signed up with this email. We'll just give it a password. Hopefully, it gives me an error. Boom. That's awesome. So I'm gonna try logging in then. It's great. So that's fantastic. We now have authentication. We have a database. We don't have any tables yet. So that's because Supabase, you can actually store some good amount of information in the auth table. In this case, we didn't ask for anything. We didn't ask for a user's name or anything like that. So we didn't have a reason to create any tables. So I'll leave it at there. Again, this video, I just wanted to show you how to implement authentication because that's the first step to monetizing our app. And then in the next video, we'll actually monetize it. I'm not sure if it'll be one video or two videos, but what we need to do then is we've got to integrate Stripe. We've got to come up with a pricing plan, how we're going to charge. We'll probably just do it like through credits. Um, and then we've got to, wire all that up and keep track of users who can what plan they're on, what kind of usage and credits they have with whatever pricing structure we come up with, and all of that. So stay tuned for the next video. I hope you found this useful, and thanks for watching.